So good morning, I'm Rishi, and I'm here with my Dean, Dr. V. Balakೃಷ್ಣ Reddy, and another guest speaker as from OP Jindal University, Sonipat, Professor Harsh Mahaseth. And before we begin the session, let me give you a brief summary that what Mahindra stands for. The legacy of Mahindra dates back to typically before independence, and it is one of the company which has shown I would say it has bettered the time for 8 decades plus. Now standing at around $35 billion in conglomerate Mahindra and Mahindra Group. Mahindra University is an initiative given by the Aegis of Tech Mahindra. So typically around 200 countries of the world, we are having our presence in typically 110 plus countries with 350,000 workforce. And not just merely a CSR initiative of Tech Mahindra, this is typically for taking the academic and advancement in the R&D together. So with this, I would simply welcome you all, those who are joining here for the session at Mahindra University School of Law. Let me also brief you about that how Mahindra University took shape. We started in 2014 with a tri-party agreement with JNTU Hyderabad, and that is Jawaharlal Nehru Technical University, and École Centrale of France. So we had a little steps, 240 students in the first engineering batch of 2014. And today we are 4,000 plus strong students, marching very soon to 6,000. We have come across on 20th of May 2020, we got the formal confirmation from the University Grant Commission, and we got the autonomous status of Mahindra University. Very soon, under the greatship command of Professor Yaj Mandari, who happens to be our Vice Chancellor, and Anand Mahindra happens to be our Chancellor. In their vision and in their efforts, 2021, the School of Law started with a humble batch of 55 students, and today we are 550 students strong. Down the lane, we had to double the sessions and semesters for our BBA LLB. That is 120 batch we are taking at present, and BA at 60. 2022, we also initiated LLB program for 3 years for those who missed the first bus, and they could pursue that for the 3-year program, typically for those who have industry experience. 2024 is a great year under the leadership of our Dean, Dr. V. Balakೃಷ್ಣ Reddy, who has done tremendous job in bringing the university as well as the School of Law at the next level. So today we are typically looking forward for starting 3 new programs this year. One of them, of course, is LLM, Specialization in Technology and Law, which we are going to discuss quite in detail today. The other 2 are the PhD in Law and BTech LLB program integrated for 6 years. So before I begin the session, let me once introduce our panelists today. Let's welcome Professor V. Balakೃಷ್ಣ Reddy, who has served as a professor of international law and also held various leadership positions at Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad, including the directorship of Center for Aerospace and Defense Law and Center for Tribal and Land Rights. He was also the LLM course coordinator for international trade and business law at Nalsar. Notably, he was the former Vice Chancellor as well as Registrar of the Nalsar University of Law for an impressive 8+ years. We typically a real blessing to welcome you on board, sir. I've come across with you, and it was a great beginning since one day as we are approaching celebrating your first work anniversary at Mahindra University. I have seen you that joining Mahindra University as a Dean School of Law, you organized 3 mega events named Pre-Conference on the Data Governance in the Age of Artificial Intelligence. And we are also looking forward for a Center for Artificial Intelligence, typically in the policy making. We also organized 3-day International Law and Technology Conference on Revolutionary Technologies and Evolutionary Laws, Challenges and Opportunities, and the first Mahindra University International Moot Court Competition from 29 February to 3rd of March 2024. Thank you for being here, sir, for gracing the event. I would now move to a small brief introduction of our other guest, who has been a great colleague and a good friend, Professor Harsh. Welcome you here. Professor Harsh Mahaseth is an assistant professor at Jindal Global Law School, OP Jindal Global University, India. He previously held the role of Assistant Dean Academic Affairs at Jindal Global Law School, Assistant Director at Pau, correct me if my pronunciation is wrong, Harsh, Kipgen Center for Southeast Asian Studies and faculty coordinator for J.G. Ellis Client Counseling Society. He's a visiting faculty at Mahindra University and Nalsar University of Law. He's also the co-founder of a startup called College, a platform which helps people to connect with students and alumni while applying to universities abroad. Harsh specializes in public international law with a focus on Asian legal studies, particularly in South and Southeast Asia. He has also completed his Master of Law in Asian Legal Studies from National University of Singapore, and he did his BLLB honors from Nalsar University. Additionally, he holds a diploma in international affairs and diplomacy from the Indian Institute of Governance and Leadership and a diploma in freelance and feature writing from the London School of Journalism. Harsh has a prolific record of over 40 international peer-reviewed journals, academic journals and publications, and more than 145 publications in renowned international newspapers, magazine, and academic blogs. His research contributions have been recognized through various accolades, including the Award for Research Excellence, the Best Research Scholar Award, and the Emerging Scholar Award. He has also secured research grants from esteemed institutions such as the Ministry of Law and Justice, Government of India, the British Council, UNICEF, and UNFPA. Harsh has taught courses and workshops at numerous universities across Asia. He has taught innovative courses including Asian Regional Councils, Asian Regional Organization and their interplay with the law, Asian law and policy and governance, the art of legal writing, critical issues in criminal justice, editorial workshops, and foreign opportunities workshops. He also sits on the editorial committee of the numerous levels. Wholeheartedly, we welcome you once again, Professor Harsh, and I welcome my outreach colleague, Mohammed Zubair, sir. Welcome to the meeting. We have started today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Typically, let me take you that how this particular session is going to be opening our mind regarding the new avenues and opportunities which are existing. Further education, I would say, at the PG level with LLM, and typically a specialization in technology and law. So the way we have observed in these years that technology has always taken a fast step ahead and law always is a kind of cat and mouse games we keep on playing for the long. But slowly, the proactive role of law is also coming in between, and we have to have a plan before the catastrophe strike. So I would like to invite our Dean, Dr. V. Balakrishna Reddy, on the very first discussion that how this particular law and technology actually begin. What are the roots and genesis of it? And what is the actual rationale that why do we need law to control technology? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rishi, for your nice introduction and also briefing about our university. Yes, you are right. Today, if I can begin with the nexus, the connection, the linkage between law and technology. You are right. Today, one is moving in a faster manner. Technology. That's why we call revolutionary technologies and evolutionary laws, because the technology is moving. Of course, technology. What is the technology? Technology is nothing but application of knowledge for practical purposes. Technology was part of the humanity. You go back to the ancient civilization to current. Technology is indispensable to the humanity or human existence. But how improvised things happened? That is the question today. Of course, they say earlier medieval improvements happened in the medieval. Today, modern technology. You all know that industrial revolution, first industrial, second, third. We are in fourth. All these are all improving the technology or technological presence for helping the humanity. And today, particularly fourth industrial revolution, all. Today we talk about net technologies. What do you mean by net? Net means new and emerging technologies. Today, the buzzword combining all these technologies, what we call say new and emerging technologies, are what I call them. It's my one observation is A to Z technologies. What do you mean by A to Z technologies? You name any alphabet today, we have a technology. A means artificial intelligence, to automation, to big data, to cryptocurrency, to drone. I can go on. So all these technologies today are part of the humanity and making comfortable all. Okay, this is one side in 2 minutes. But technologies also other side we have to look at if something goes wrong, problem. So where to go, whom to approach, what kind of recourse is there? It is a very today we are in a dilemma. That is where the the connection between law and technology comes. Okay, good technologies are happening, technology is helping, but today lot of challenges. These application of these technologies are posing challenge to the humankind or existence or governance. That is where the we have to think. We as a academic we don't say leaders, but academicians, we had to think next 5 years, 10 years, what is going to be the role of technology, how we have to help in regulating, in governance these technologies today. That is whole challenge. That's where we are in Mahindra planning. You all know that you briefed very well. Mahindra is a tech giant, and that's where in continuation with the technology, we are planning to start here LLM specializing in technology and law, where we can get inputs from our Mahindra also. So keeping that in view, looking at next 5 years, 10 years, there are, but today vacuum is there. Today gap is there. That is where we are planning to start LLM in technology law. We can at least reduce that void or that gap. That is the whole purpose of coming out with the LLM masters, LLM in technology and law. So that's where, though I have expertise in other areas like trade and business. I was part of Nalsara and other things. But next 5 years, 10 years, as a student of law, international law, I presume that lot of scope is there. That's where Mahindra is taking the lead in this direction. I think I will stop here, and then we can go further. Thank you.
Thank you for your addition, sir. Words from you has always added our knowledge base wider. So typically, if we look upon this particular PG program for LLM, sir, I hope Harsh would agree with me that it's a part and parcel of continuing education and academic journey ahead. So I would like to put this particular on an open platform. Harsh, I would like you specifically to comment on it. That when a fresher typically is looking for an LLM program immediately after finishing his or her BLLB and BBLLB, and if they go for the bar council exams conducted at the national level, they get usual practice chance that they are termed as advocate rather than merely a lawyer. Then why there is a specific need? Because sooner or later, every academic person typically looking for an industry has to enter into the industry. And once they get into the particular, either their own practice or with a big law firm, it's hardly getting any time to look for any academic furtherance. In such times, how the regular as well as those who are already in industry, LLM specialization could be an added advantage. Would you like to have any comments on that? And Harsh, we are unable to see your face clearly. So shall I ask you, bring us to the light by bringing yourself
Please.
to light?
I'm not sure how I can
No,
make this
okay.
a bit better. Is this fine?
Yeah, this is somewhat
Okay.
better.
I get the question correct. I think you're talking about specializations over here as to why it is necessary for people to actually pursue an LLM and what actually a specialization can help in, is what I'm understanding from the question.
Indeed, indeed.
Okay. So I do believe that law is a very vast field and there's so many branches to it. And during our 5 years or 3 years of our undergraduate, we do go through a lot of these branches, such as corporate law, international law, intellectual property, environment law. And we get a hang of a bit of each of these information. We don't actually get to specialize in any of these. I do believe that if you do an LLM, it kind of opens up advanced career options, as a lot of organizations and law firms do look for specific experts in these fields to handle these complex legal issues that you might not have specialized in your undergrad. So having that LLM in a specialized area can make someone a more attractive candidate for potential employers. And I do believe that an LLM is a more advanced degree, as a lot of LLMs do have a specific research component. And so it kind of does help LLM candidates build up their research experience as well, something that maybe is not given in your undergraduate experience. So I do think that because of these reasons, an LLM, and especially a specialized LLM, becomes way more attractive for people to actually specialize in a specific area and make them stand out more when they do go into any field to work.
Lovely. It's lovely to have that relevation. Another thing I would like to add up here And typically for those attendees, I can count 26 in precisely now, that if in case if you are having any question or any doubt you could like to ask about this particular program, we are happy to answer that at the end of the session. Besides, those of you who are already in practice, let me make this loud and clear to each of you that this program is going to be on a regular basis, 1 year full-time program, rather than on any online or weekends mode. So try not to keep any kind of doubts in between. Of course, my colleague Zubair Khan sir would typically be giving you a briefing about the outreach program and the procedures and protocols to join the program. But certainly today we are gathered here typically for discussing about that what are the pros and cons, what are the prospects which we are having, and what new avenues and opportunities we may explore and encounter with while we are going through it. So coming back to the topic once again, I would like to draw attention of our Dean, Dr. B. Balakistra Reddy. Sir, you have given us a kind of summary that how the law started from IR1 to IR4, while we are marching towards IR5 now. And it's a way that if we are not keeping our toes crispy and ready, then it may be possible that technology might be backfiring at us like it has done many times in the earlier years. So, would you like to put any addition on that or enlighten our audiences that what was the status of international laws typically in relation to the technology at a global scale as well as at a domestic scale?
Of course, yeah, sure. Rishi, not only the technology, but where why you want specialization, whether it's technology or corporate law, or there are inherent advantages with ILLM doing. One is ILLM significantly legal career. That's one. Other one is higher pay, because we always look after doing 1 year, 2 years. Of course, for audience friends, we have two programs, not here in Mahindra, but most of the universities today, traditional universities, they are offering 2 years LLM. Most of the new law schools, law universities are offering 1 year. Of course, we in Mahindra are going to offer 1 year LLM, just for clarification. So, LLM gives you higher pay, career advancement, in-depth knowledge, greater credibility. Today, if you look at why, you have to specialize in technology law or anything, in-depth knowledge, greater, credibility, I can say. And it also specific area. Today, we are living in a specialized era, specialized age, we can say that. So if you have a specialization in that particular area, so these are the benefits actually, global perspective. Today we are part of the globalization. Today I can tell you the technology or governance is influenced by globalization, liberalization, privatization, digital. We are talking about, we call digitization or digital thing. Everything is happening all I add another, a recent one. It is kind of mine, COVIDization. The kind of, the COVID pandemic impacted the global, society all last 3-4 years. COVIDization is nothing but COVID pandemic 19. But earlier, what I spoke, globalization, liberalization, maybe history. But what COVID pandemic we all witnessed, those who are participating, all we are, witnessed the last 3 years, how we use technology. Like we always say that, necessity is the mother of invention. Okay, like that, by compulsions, last 3-4 years, across the globe in India, how we are using the technology. And when technology, we talking about online business, e-commerce, people used to laugh at India is a poor developing country, how they are going to. And today, Rishi, everybody take part of the e-business, or what you call mobile commerce, phone pay, whatever you call. So that is where the globe is. So, okay, this is good, developments. But we, again, we have to look at, other side. That's what I was telling. So there are challenges. Rewards are there. There are challenges, these things, That is where the specializations in general, and more particularly technology law or law technology specializations will help you people. Another important development, next 5 years, I can tell you as a student of international law, as a student of international trade law, I can tell you that today, globalization, legal profession is part of the globalization. There is a one agreement called WTO GATS agreement. All services, whether you are medical or engineering or architectural or legal, all services are now part of this agreement. India accepted, and we have to open up these services. Maybe it is a matter of time. It is a reciprocity, all these things. So once you have a specialization, you have a knowledge. Today, boundaries are becoming a meaningless. Today, we call global citizens, or boundaries. Sitting, I will tell you, because those are participant. Part of this, legal. Another 5 years, the legal profession is going to change, because I know sitting here, I am, but I can give my advice to the clients in USA through phone or fax, or using the service provider and service receivers are sitting in their respective place, but service happens through technology. Again, I can give advice on phone or fax or email. I can get my money through wire. Where is the boundary? Today, only thing is that you have to have that skill. People should recognize that services is available, or X is expert. If we have that, and definitely we are going to have a edge. That is where India particularly, we are going to have a lot of advantage. That's where the specialization needs, and everything will connect to the technology. That's why we are focusing. And of course, part of again, in LLB, fourth and fifth year, in Mahindra, we are also offering honors papers on law and technology. Mahindra is also coming out with Mahindra Journal of Law and Technology. We want to inculcate this, technology law culture. That's what, as a dean, as a part of the professor, I can tell to the audience. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your addition, sir. Here, I would like to invite Harsh also to drop into the discussion. That Harsh, you have held various positions in the Asian law and various journals, respective journals you have come across. What has been your journey, that how technology, earlier the traditional way of LLM was typically on the criminal laws and the others, but technology was always taking a back seat. But now slowly the turn is churning out and technology is taking the front seat. That either we keep ourselves aware about it or we perish. Like law does not excuse anyone. So the people who are still living in a kind of blindness and ignorance, that even if I don't learn the technology, the sky is not going to fall. So long back in international law, I used to hear one statement from one of my professor, that if you are not the part of the politics, you end up being victim of it. I would like to press the same analogy, that if we are not running with the technology, we end up being the victim of it. So what is your opinion on that? And besides, I would also like to learn, audience would also be interested at how your journey have been while you have apprised yourself with the interfaces of law and technology.
Thank you so much, Rishi. I honestly think that there is this interconnectedness between law and technology. As technological advancements continuously reshape legal landscapes, it necessitates that we also adapt to this and have a more forward-thinking approach to these regulations. I do think that law provides this framework for addressing these ethical, social, and security implications of emerging technologies. Let's take the examples of, let's say, data privacy or even intellectual property rights, something that we have been learning for decades now, but it is continuously evolving as well. And if we do look at technology, it also influences how laws are developed, interpreted, and enforced as well, with innovations such as AI, blockchain presenting new challenges and opportunities for these legal systems. So we do see this this interconnectedness between law and technology. And while technology evolves, we also have to see how the legal frameworks are designed to protect individual rights, promote innovation, and maintain societal order. And if you're talking about my journey, while I have, let's say, specialized in Asian legal systems, I do see this interconnectedness of technology, law, and other social sciences. And this is not only geared towards, let's say, IPR. You would find this even in our criminal laws. You'll also find this in our civil laws. You'll also find this in vast other areas such as environment law, international humanitarian law. Every single area has now become dependent or interdependent with technology and other areas. And I think that it is necessary to study these because without that, I don't think we are moving ahead in our policy innovations either.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Harsh. At this juncture, I would like to remind our attendees once again that in case if you are having any questions or sessions in between, you have any doubts, please put them in the chat box so that we can take up those questions at the end of the session. Besides, let me come back to the legacy of Mahindra Group itself, led by Anand Mahindra. our Chancellor. I have come across many a time in the few of the board meetings I was given privilege to attend to, courtesy to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Yaj Medari. And I could look upon that the R&D is typically looking upon the people who are having their legal acumen well checked. And I should say double checked. Gone are the days when I used to be a great science fiction fan. Nowadays, we hardly get any time to watch movies. And I still desperately wait for the movies called Avengers Next Phase and etc. So that child in the heart still remains. But the point is, the age and the time doesn't stop for anyone. Fiction's slowly turning into reality. Science fiction is no more fiction. It is turning into reality. But the question comes, everybody has a plan till they are not heard. I was just having a discussion with one of the specialists, typically in the R&D, and he said that we don't need today the tech lawyers or the technology and law lawyers for writing the manuals of the product. I believe everybody must have come across this, that every time you purchase a product, there's a small booklet called the user manual, which is given with it. And most of the time, that user manual is written by a person who is expert in the function of that configuration of technology, as well as he or she might be an expert in law, so that they provide certain functions and give the rights and tell about the duties of the user as a customer and the liabilities which a company may be able to provide in case the product backfires. But law has to think beyond. So here the product is created and then the manual is written, the customer buys it, and the manual is delivered. But while we are going into the reactive or the post-mortem form, today we are evolving into a proactive form. That even before the technology is taking shape, like if we look upon the artificial intelligence or the nanotechnology, the nanobots we are looking for, or in the case of pharmaceutical eugenics or human genome, which we are looking for, the law is putting a pressure that such a technology or such an exploration should be allowed on the ethical basis or not. So, just like the multiverses concept, the law has multiple aspects in technology. And as I said in the beginning, repeated many a times, that we should not just merely wait for a catastrophe to happen and then we take an action. Rather, we should be ready for the future in advance. It's just like if you can't make or update yourself. We call a simple mobile as a smart mobile because it upgrades and updates itself in every 1 week or 2 weeks. And we simply have to press a yes. And many a time we give a standing order, it auto updates itself. But very soon, in a matter of 3 or 5 years, the so-called mobile we call is a smart mobile becomes outdated because RAM and other things are not supporting. For human also, it applies, but the cycle is comparatively bigger. Let's say 60 to 70 years, we also stop upgrading ourselves. But here, when we are typically looking for our profession as a legal counsel or as an expert in law and technology, we need to choose our concepts well. We need to choose our specialization well. So while many of you attendees might be looking forward that we may go into specializations, so I would like to bring our panelists on the same page and would seek their opinion upon it, that once a person is joining LLM in technology law, what further specialization they could be having, like cyber, like AI, or others. First, I would like to invite our Dean, Dr. V. Balakriష్na Reddy, to comment on that.
Yes, of course, Rishi, specializations, definitely we have to look at that emerging, subjects like what, whether it's a artificial intelligence or big data, blood, depend on, the availability. Of course, in LLM, normally we have a 2 semesters and, we have 3 mandatories from UGC. You know that those we have to, but other 6, 7 areas we can include, important emerging techno, driven law. What I call is today, law technology goes together, and I call them, the moment when technology happens, law has to come in. For example, any, whether it's a aviation to space to IT to telecom, all these things. So we will look into that, these, how we can fit into that. We have already, finalized the 5+3, total 8 subjects plus dissertation, and 3 mandatories, of course, we have to do because it's a UGC, other 5 subjects we are working on that, which are the best thing. And of course, those who are interested, further do, they can take up, part of the dissertation also. We have, like 200 marks per dissertation. So generally, like you are mentioning about, we have to prepare. And I just want to tell the audience that, recently Government of India passed, three legislations, IPC, CRPC, evidence is replaced by Bharatiya, Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarika Suraksha Sanhita, Bharatiya, evidence all. But today, why I'm talking about, you see, technology is part of, any law. And, today, e-filing, FIR, online filing, say, like video conferencing, say, director of prosecution, all these forensic. So what I mean to say that technology is now becoming inevitable, not only, for specializing in our own, but it is even general laws also now influenced by these kind of technological developments like e-commerce. Today, a lot of, things are part of the e-commerce and m-commerce, mobile commerce, all are, part of, these changes. And these any law, not only specialization in LLM, but general laws also affected by the technological innovations, and we have to get ready for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Many times, in the sense of layman, I would simply put up that a simple thought comes that life or a route less ordinarily taken. Let's stay away from the technology. And unless I used to remember one of the Warren Buffett's case that he is never keeping a mobile, and he is one of the richest person around the planet. So we can also look upon, but not everybody can afford that kind of luxury that you can keep yourself away from the technology. Right from the beginning, we start walking from our home, we have our mobile. And even if you take a presumption that you are not having a mobile, you simply have banking necessity. We can go on and on looking forward that we can keep ourselves from every technology and other thing. But that may apply just to you. What about your family? What about your friends? What if you have a medical emergency somewhere down the lane? The technology will come into your way. So we might say it might be the biggest devil, or the devil lies in detail. But unless and until we are not ready to interpret it well, we might end up being the victim of the devil. Harsh, I would like to invite your opinion on that. That what shall be the benefit of doing typically an LLM in technology and law for a person who is not from the technology background specifically?
So I do think that, and especially in technology law, could be highly beneficial even for those who don't have a technological background, because the LLM itself would be a bridge for the gap between these complex technological concepts as well as legal principles. And this kind of specialization could equip lawyers with the knowledge and skills to interpret and apply legal frameworks to technological contexts, I'd say. So, what I think is that even if you don't have a background in technology, and even if you've done a separate stream, an LLM in tech law would provide you with a comprehensive understanding of how technology intersects with various legal domains, such as I was mentioning, IPR and privacy and cybersecurity. And it would actually help professionals who don't have the background in understanding several ethical and policy frameworks and also regulatory compliances and advisories. I do think that even without a technical background, tech law LLM graduates can work effectively with engineers and other professionals, and their legal expertise will allow them to translate these complex technical issues into legal terms and also facilitate this interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary collaboration for problem solving. So overall, I do think that tech law field would offer diverse career opportunities, not only in law firms, but also in different companies, in government agencies, and even not for nonprofits. And with technology being integral to various sectors, I think that the demand for legal professionals who can navigate these tech-related legal challenges is going to be massive in the upcoming years.
Okay,
So,
I think I add to Harsh. I just want to share my 1 or 2 minutes my experience, Rishi. Of course, I'm
Please, sir.
also
Please, sir.
BA graduate, but my specialization is aerospace, space law particularly. So when I started my career in 30 years back, 25 years back, JNU. So as a student of researcher, people used to laugh at me saying that what is their air law, space law, like. But today, space example, tell you, shifted from scientific technological era to commercial business. Today, I'm giving an example of space technology. scientific, experiment stage. Today we are in the practical thing, business thing. That is where today Indian space program is confronted with, millions and billions of worth dollar. We are doing business. The moment when I say business, then law has to come into. And of course, where, I am happy to share with you all that, I was one of the person who last 2.5 decades trying to convince the successive governments or ISRO chairmen that India needs space law. And from my part, actually, I've drafted, as a scholar. So I gave draft legislations, and ultimately, in 2016, Prime Minister appointed a committee, part of ISRO. I was part of, and we submitted space activities bill 2017. Of course, that what I mean to say that, I am not a technology related person, but I specialized in space law, space technology. I completely agree with, what Ash says, that need not you have a, technology background, but we can, learn and, experiment, and we can do that. Just I share my experience. Sorry. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing up your lovely memories with us. And here, while we are proceeding towards the end of the session, I would simply like to underline that long back when I started my journey by failing in IITs, just for the simple reason I wanted to have a glimpse of it, that how does IIT entrance? Because in a country like India, we are typically having a traditional mindset that if you are not having an IIT degree, that you are nothing. Then I chose my second career as a chartered accountancy and further pursuing in law, and finally ended up with my PhD in artificial intelligence. So I would like to simply give not this as an inspiration for the people, but all I'm saying that whether we like it or not, the market would make you realize that what you actually need. And simply saying, if we are not performing, we will not be having opportunity to stay on the pitch. We shall be just clapping our hand, being the audiences. If you have to sit in the hot chair, you have to be good enough, run with the time, and rather, should I say, be prepared for the future before future strikes you back. At this point, I would like to invite our outreach head, Mohammed Zubair Khan, sir, to enlighten the audiences, those who are here, to give them what are the procedures and protocol for joining LLM program, what are the basic eligibilities, and further questions associated with it. I still welcome the candidates to add up their questions in case they have for any academic or counseling programs for LLM specialization. They can put up in the chat box. Over to you, Zubair.
Thank you, Rishi sir. Thanks for giving this chance, and good to see that our dean sir has taken our special time for us to address the audience, even though in Saturday. And thank you that you have taken your time out. I think we are in campus, if I'm not wrong. So even though I am on the way to my campus, our campus. So anyway, we have 5 programs, 4 programs basically for law, UG to PhD. So we have 5 years LLB program. We have 3 years LLB program after graduation. Of course, we are starting LLM in technology. Rishi sir,
yeah, are you there? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm there. So admission criteria to 5 years LLB, which is BA LLB honors and PBA LLB honors, and BTech LLB honors is still subject to approval of Bar Council of India. So admission criteria in this 5 years program is based on the CLAT score. So anybody got a very good CLAT rank, they can get direct admission. Anybody have very good LSAT rank, they can get direct admission. Or any student, if they don't have these two, they can appear for our internal test, which is MULET, Mahindra University Law Entrance Test. So if they qualify in Mahindra University Law Entrance Test, they can definitely get the admission in Mahindra University. So this is for 5 years LLB program. The admission criteria for LLB 3 years based on interviews. Any student who got 60% above in their graduation, we interview them, we set up the panel. Once they complete the application, and once they pass the interview, we can give them direct admission. And same goes for LLM. Of course, the student must have 10+2 education system, then then graduation, then LLB, and of course they can go for an LL. And of course for PhD, we are looking for UGC net qualified student. Anybody who are UGC net qualified in any year, maybe 21, 22, or 2020 or 23, they can get direct admission after passing the interview. If not, they have to appear for our internal test and they have to qualify in the internal test, which is same exactly on the pattern of UGC net, and they have to subsequently qualify in the internal. So these are the admission criteria, and admission process is very simple. Students, whoever is willing to get admissions in Mahindra University, they should have visit our website and apply first of all. Once they apply online and complete the application, then we review the application, evaluate them, and then we call them for test. We look at their criteria of admissions, if they fulfill in CLAT, LSAT, or if they are qualifying for the interviews, we call them for interview for LLB or LLM. And the same time, if we for PhD, on the basis of their UGC net, if not UGC net, we call them for a test and we call them for interview subsequent. So that's the admission criteria. And good to see that this year we are having the full-fledged law program, whatever we need, right from UG to PhD, all the law programs are available at the School of Law, Mahindra University. So thank you, Rishi, sir, for giving this time, and I thank all the aspirants who has taken their time out wherever they have seen, because it was very less time we have promoted this, hardly 3 to 4 days we have promoted this event. We have posted everywhere wherever we could, whether in social media or on a couple of websites like Live Law or Locktopus and Catalog. And thanks to all the aspirants that they have participated today on Saturday. Thank you, Bala sir. Thank you, Harsh, and thanks to Rishi sir. That's all from my side.
Thank you. Thank you, Zubair, sir. We'll be waiting for you. In the meantime, before I give formal vote of thanks to all my panelists, I would like to underline just one parting thought to all my attendees, that in my experience, I have observed that people sometimes may not be having financial stability, sometimes may not be having right opportunities, and immediately after pursuing their UG or undergraduate degree, they immediately go for a job. Down the lane, they realize after 5 years, 10 years, at times with 20 years, because I have been in touch with the senior professionals from the various institutions, including SEBI, NABARS, and etc. And they finally say, if I get an opportunity, I would like to pursue my LLM, not merely for my promotions and appraisals, but also that I can upgrade my knowledge, because they are finding themselves completely lost because they put all their great years only in the profession. So this is a good opportunity for those attendees who are still kind enough to attach to us, that use your opportunity while time is giving you an opportunity. And in case if it is not, then certainly it might be not be having a second chance again. So thank you, everyone. Thanks, our Dean, Dr. V. Balakistan Reddy, for joining the session. Thank you, Harsh. Despite network connectivity and other issues, you have always been blessing in being an angel for me. Thank you. Thank you, Harsh. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sri Lekha, for conducting the event so nicely on time. And thank you to my always friend Zubair sir. We'll be waiting for you. Thank you, everyone. I am closing the meeting now.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.